In this video, I'm going to show you how to send emails properly, especially in guidelines to the new rules that Google and Yahoo and many others will probably jump on board have just recently put in place. Now, if you've been marketing or you have an agency or whatever business, coaching, I don't care what business. If you are emailing, you should watch this video because I'm also going to reveal something that I put into place a couple years ago that has drastically increased the chances of hitting the inbox in my businesses. It's something so small, so subtle, so easy, yet nobody is doing it. And so pay attention in this video. It's not going to be a very long video. It's very simple to land in the inbox, but you have to do a few things right. And that's what I'm going to show you in this video. And if you stay until the end of the video, I'm also going to show you how you can get access to a simple yet powerful checklist to make sure that you set your business up properly in the world that we live in to make sure that you are always landing in the inbox. So the next best thing to do other than like, subscribe, comment, and watch this video to the end is to jump on my computer and let me show you exactly how I send emails and land in the inbox 90% of the time. Okay, so let's just make this really, really simple. Here's what the announcement essentially was. Okay, we don't need to really go into detail. Number one, let's look at my company. I'm sending emails on more of a mass scale. Then I need to create the authentication of that email that I'm sending from. Okay, we'll get into this. Number two, easy way to unsubscribe. I have two unsubscribe areas in my email. I think now 3. I have the regular one that Gmail puts up in the top, and I'll show you examples of these. Then I have one at the top of my email, and now I have one at the bottom. So I literally have 3 places where people can unsubscribe. I also, in my automation, have emails that usually go out to people who have been on for like 30 days that basically says, hey, if you don't want to be on this list anymore, here's this big brown, black, blue button, red button that you should click to get off of my list. In addition, a change that I made about 6 months ago was instead of sending people, I think, to a URL that says, hey, click again, this change now encouraged us to just remove that. And just when they click unsubscribe, they're unsubscribed, like done, finished. And so that's another thing too. And number 3, they basically decreased the spam rate. So I believe it's 0.3% they're allowing. And anytime you go over the 3%, apparently it's like you're going to get blacklisted. Okay, so that's the biggest change, I would say. I don't remember what it was. I believe it used to be 10 out of 1,000. If you had 10 complaints out of 1,000 that somebody marked your email as spam, and now I believe it's 3 out of 1,000. So it's like 0.003, 0.3%. Yes, 0.3% is now the threshold. And I believe it may have been 0.10. And so that's a big difference, right? 3 versus 10 out of 1,000. That's a pretty big decrease. Don't quote me on that. I do know that it's now down to 3. I don't remember what it used to be prior to this February change. But that's big. And so the biggest way to combat that is just to make sure that people want to be on your list. But I'm going to show you a trick here in just a second on how to create, and I'm going to go right into my GoHighLevel account on how to create a standard practice for your business. And so now let me just jump right into my GoHighLevel and show you what I have in place for my marketing. Okay, so as you can see on my screen, none of this really matters. The only two things matter. Number one, here's my monthly unsubscribe email. So this is an email that goes out every month that says, hey, if you still want to stay on my list, then you basically don't need to do anything. But if you don't, click this and get off of it. All right. That's my monthly unsubscribe email. This is something that, as you can see, we put that into place January 31st, 2024. Okay. The next thing is you'll see 2 things here. So I have immediate opt-in email campaign and pushed into main email campaign. Okay. These 2 things are important because one plays a role into the other. So let's jump into B. So if you take a look at this B campaign, immediate opt-in email campaign, our triggers are our opt-in pages We're going to wait a minute, add them to a welcome sequence, and then hit them up with 3 emails. And this is where the extremely important point of keeping your emails in the inbox. And you'll understand why. So they get hit with 1, 2, 3. Then into the 4th day, okay, they go into a condition that basically says, hey, this email event has happened. The person has opened one of these 3 emails, and the condition is going to look for that they opened it. If they opened it, they are added to the pushed into main email campaign. And if they don't, and when GoHighLevel looks to see if they've opened one of these emails, and they haven't, they get tagged never opened, and they never get into our main drip sequence. If somebody is not going to open your first email right after opt-in, or your second email the next day, or your third email the next day, what do you think the chance of that person opening the 4th, the 5th, the 7th, the 10th, the 12th, the 15th? 0. Unequivocally 0. There have been arguments that says, well, you know, some people who opt in on a Friday night, it's the weekend, so maybe they're not going to open the first 2. Well, that's why this thing strings out for 4 days. Because within 4 days of an opt-in, if somebody is not going to open one of these 3 emails, they should go into the garbage. And what that does is that keeps highly engaged opt-ins on our main email campaign and increases the likelihood of those people opening up our emails, which shows good faith to the providers. And that's why we've been landing in the inbox for the last probably 2 years, since we made a lot of these little changes. So I showed you the way to just make sure you're on here. Let's jump into an email that I have. Okay, first thing that you're gonna notice is that I now have an unsubscribe link all the way up on top. Okay, so when somebody clicks this, they're gonna get unsubscribed. I also, you know, I've kept it here because this is where I've always had it. But if you actually go into my email, you'll see here that I have, you know, there's this unsubscribe link here, one here, and one here. This one, I believe, is provided by anytime an email comes in as a list, that they're part of a list, Gmail will have the unsubscribe here. So there's 3 ways to get the heck off the list. Okay, that's very important. That was one of the 3 changes. The third change that we talked about, this is to prevent 3 out of 1,000 people that marks spam. Okay, it's the last thing that we want to happen. But another thing too, and I'm going to dive into my DNS records because this is where people get very confused. And so if you look at the DNS records of GoDaddy with one of my domains, you'll see here that we have the DMARC is right here and the DKIM is right here. Okay. Now you may say, well, I don't know how to set that up. Well, if you're using LC email and GoHighLevel, it literally is done for you. So you don't even have to worry about that. If you're using Cloudflare, you'll have to add it yourself. So let's take a look at what those DNS records look like. So I have my DMARC here. I believe when I originally set this up, I didn't know which one it was. So this is the one here. So I have my DMARC here, and then I have my DKIM here. So what this basically is, by the way, what they are doesn't matter. The bottom line is literally all you have to do is if you're using LC email, this is going to be the text line for it, and the name is LC, and then the underscore DMARC.LC, and this is the text line for that. Now, if you're using anything else, you just have to go into their, like, say you're using it's not Sendinblue, it's something else. I don't remember the name of it. They may have their own DMARC, DKIM records, text records. So you'll have to know exactly what it is. This is for Mailgun. Okay, this is Mailguns. All right, and again, just follow. If you're using GoHighLevel, it's going to automatically add it. I had to add these manually, and I had to do a little bit of searching to figure out what to add. But if you take a look here, it's the same. Even though it's the same thing here than it is here. Now you say MG. That's just when I set this email up. That's what I had as MG dot in the URL.com. So it could be LC, it could be MG, and so this one's MG. So as you can see, this is the same as this, okay? And then the DMARC P equals none is the same as this one. This one here was when I was using Sendinblue, and then I switched to Mailgun. And so that's what this one came from. Okay. So this is Mailgun. That's what the MG stands for. And this is also Mailgun. As you can see, it says Mailgun. So this is what Google, Yahoo, this is what they want. For whatever reason, I see all these like people trying to explain why. Who cares why? If they say you need this, then just put it. Who cares why? And so if you take a look at the three things, authentication, that's the DMARC DKIM. Unsubscription, I have it in 3 places. And then making sure that the people land on your list don't hit spam. The best way to do that is don't email people who don't want you to email. And we're reducing that risk by not even sending emails to people who haven't opened up at least the first 3. Now, I probably should down it to 2. But our spam rate has always been very, very low. So set up like this. So 3 is fine. I don't want to touch or change anything that we've been doing. So if that's what you've been worried about, here's your solutions. And if you want a checklist of the things that you definitely need to make sure that you are compliant with sending emails and you have the best chance of success, make sure you join my free resources section. Because in addition to the things I covered in this video, you know, I'll mention some of the warming tools that I use on that checklist as well. That is very, very good if you're starting for a new domain, starting with a new domain. And so make sure that you check the description down below as well as the pinned comment for that checklist. I also encourage you to like, subscribe, share this video, and turn those notifications on because the next couple of videos are coming out in no particular order. We're doing a walkthrough of a towing campaign like I did for the HVAC. Going to do some pay-per-click training, some Facebook ads training, some agency Facebook ads training, and a couple other videos that I have on that chopping block that I'm excited to release. And so make sure you got to have those notifications on because a lot of times what happens is that you watch this video, but then you forget about my channel and you're reminded when that notification pops up on your phone or in your email. So make sure that you do that. Also share this with anybody who you think might find this useful. And I wanted to get this video out prior to any other ones because I saw a lot of commotion in the GoHighLevel group and the ClickFunnels group and all these other groups with marketers especially saying, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? It's like very simple little things that you need to do. DKIM, DMARC. Don't email people who you don't want to email. Stay under the 0.3%. I think it's 0.3% threshold. It's just 3 out of 1,000, 0.3, I guess. And make sure people can very easily unsubscribe. You do not want to email people who don't want to hear from you. It's stupid. So don't do it. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next video. I appreciate you watching. And comment down below. If you have any questions specific to this video, comment down below and let me know. I should be able to answer them rather quickly. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.